No, what you did was you got into an argument with somebody, and was this at a club?
Outside the bar.
Yeah, so you're at a bar, not with your children, not with your significant other. You get in an argument, you leave, and you come back and you fire shots into that building with the two complainants and other people who were inside. You want to discuss that?
It was a mistake.
No.
Today's case involves Martin Daniel Martinez, a registered nurse with no prior criminal history, who now stands before Judge Boyd after opening fire outside a crowded bar. His defense? He says he was intoxicated, and now he claims he's ready to change. But Judge Boyd isn't buying it. In her words, that wasn't a mistake, that was a choice. This is one of the most intense confrontations we've seen yet.
The case opens with tension.
Judge
Boyd wastes no time. She's already calling out the facts.
You need to be on that side.
Martin Daniel Martinez, a registered nurse with no
All right, I need everyone to whisper. The court is calling 2022 CR 8754, State of Texas versus Martin Daniel Martinez. Can I have parties announced for the record for the state?
Jason Jordan for the state. Barry Bloomquist for the defense. We're ready.
Feel the tone.
And are you Mr. Martinez? All right, you entered a plea on April 6th. You entered a plea of guilty.
Very respectful kid, growing up. Was great in school. No problems with him. He wasn't a problem child, thank God.
Where did he go to high school?
So he went to East Central High School.
And after high school, what did he do after that?
He went into LVN school.
And has he been working as a nurse since that time?
Yes. He also worked part-time at Bill Miller's and other odd jobs while he was going to school.
And are you aware that he has some health conditions that may be difficult for him to be incarcerated?
Yes.
And can you briefly describe that for the court?
Yes. My son was born with a rectal anus that didn't attach. So he had to have a colostomy bag. And he went through a lot of doctor visits, operation, practice, but he still has issues to this day, having bowel movements.
And then let's talk about your son. Has he been like instrumental in your family and helping other family members?
Oh yes.
Give us an example.
Yes, we all make mistakes. He is a loving father of 2 kids, a husband, and I believe he won't mess up again.
And your son, tell me about this situation. Has he talked to you about it?
Yes.
And has he expressed remorse to you?
Yes.
Can you describe that for me?
We cried. We talked about it. We prayed about it. And
the courtroom quiets as formalities begin.
Example.
Martinez pleads guilty under a 5-year cap. Both sides review his pre-sentence report. The defense is ready to present witnesses, hoping to show the man behind the mistake.
A husband.
The setup feels procedural, but everyone knows what's coming next. The fight for leniency. Can good character outweigh a dangerous choice?
thank you.
Call your next witness.
We'll call Sarah Cedillo.
Sarah Cedillo.
Do you have children together?
We do.
How many children?
2 children.
What are their ages and sex?
7, and he's a boy, and a girl, 4 years old.
What kind of father is Martin?
Martin, he's an exceptional father. He does everything for the kids, and he's always there for them. Always, even if he's tired, out there playing with them every day, whatever they want to do, and they love him dearly.
And what kind of husband is he?
He's always there, financially, and physically, everything, emotionally, in any hard times, and he supports all our family very well.
Has he ever been in it? Before this, has he ever had any contact with law enforcement?
No, I know.
And is there anything you want to tell the judge before she pronounces sentence over Martin?
Just ask you to take into consideration what kind of person he is, and that he doesn't have any history or anything, and we just really know that he's never going to do anything like this again. He regrets it. So
And he's
either
First
take
up,
into
Martinez's
consideration
mother
what kind of person he
Her voice
is and
trembles as
that
she describes her son.
he
A
doesn't
simple kid,
have
great
any
in school, never a problem.
history or anything. And
She talks
he's
about his
really
lifelong health condition,
know
the
that he's never
surgeries, the struggle,
going
and the
to do
compassion
anything
that
like
made him
this
a nurse.
again. He regrets it.
Tears well up as she says,
So
"We cried,
and
we
he's
prayed."
expressed that to you on
He
multiple
regrets it.
occasions.
yes,
It's a
yeah.
mother's plea,
Just one
heartfelt,
moment.
desperate, and real.
And
Do you think a
Martin
lifetime of
let's
good
talk
cancels
about-
out one
let's
terrible
start-
night?
expressed that to you on multiple occasions.
Yes, yeah.
Just one moment.
And Martin, let's start before we get to what's going on. Let's talk about your health first. Can you describe what that is and how that impacts you?
It's a congenital health issue, and perforated anus. There's no hole provided when I'm born. So difficulty having those issues with bowel movements,
Okay.
IBS. Sorry.
No. So I appreciate his health issues, but let me just tell you what my concern is so we can cut to the chase. My concern is this incident, according to the PSI and the stipulations, occurred because he's saying he was intoxicated.
Yes.
And then I'm reading the PSI report and he says he's still drinking alcohol. So that's what I want to hear about and I want addressed. Okay, sure.
Well, let's talk about that. So when was the last time you had a drink?
Yesterday.
Do you feel like you have a drinking problem?
I do.
And are you willing to get treatment for that?
I am willing.
Well, why did he say in the PSI that he didn't have a drinking problem? He didn't need treatment.
I've come to the realization that I do have.
Well, when was this PSI report done? What date was this PSI report completed?
March 31st.
So,
If that was when it was completed, I don't know when they did the interview.
I mean, you
Next,
just drank
Martinez's wife,
yesterday?
Sarah takes the stand. She paints a picture of a devoted husband and father, a man who works
So,
long hours but still
when did
plays
you
with
have
his
this
kids every
epiphany
day.
that you have a
She
drinking
asks the judge
problem?
to see the good in him.
I was watching
to remember
the
he's
Bill
never been in
W.
trouble
documentary.
But behind her words
Helped me
is fear.
realize.
Fear
When
of
did you
losing
watch
not
that
just a
documentary?
husband,
It's
but their
on
stability,
Peacock,
their
yes, 2
future.
days ago.
And the tension builds. Family loyalty versus justice.
And
Would
is
you
it,
beg
is
for
it,
mercy if the person you
do you
love
think
made
that
an
there's going to be
unforgivable
some,
mistake?
that his interview would have been sometime prior to that?
All right, so you just coming to this realization today that you have a drinking problem and you just drank yesterday?
No.
So when did you have this epiphany that you have a drinking problem?
I was watching the Bill W. documentary. Just kind of helped me realize.
When did you watch that documentary?
It's on Peacock, yes, 2 days ago.
Okay.
And is it, you think that there's going to be some, I mean, you're definitely wanting to get treatment, but you think you need treatment? That sounds like it.
I agree to treatment. I think it's always healthy to read and better yourself, get away from the exact cause that's happening or creating the problem.
When did your drinking increase?
I wouldn't say time or day, but I think.
Have you been drinking heavily for the last year or so?
Probably, yes.
Let's talk about your work. So during the time that you were working, tell us how you're presently employed.
So currently, my contract ended as a travel nurse. Just perfect timing through this situation, but for the past 9 years, I've been a registered nurse. I was an LVN first, moved up to an RN, and then continued to grow within my field of practice, starting out in low level floor nursing to the ICU, intensive care to rapid response team, co-blue team. Well,
And how long were you working in the ICU?
for the ICU 2 years, and currently that was where I stayed in my own home hospital, and then probably another 2 years. So, and critical care, a total of 4 to 5 years.
Because of this charge, is this going to impact your nursing license?
It will, it may. The Board of Nursing has renewed my license for another 2 years after disclosing everything. but at any moment they can take it away. And if incarcerated, it's a definite takeaway.
But there's very possible you may have to go to some type of nursing.
Now,
How
the
you
focus
feel
shifts
about
to Martin
the
himself.
negative way this
He
is
talks about his medical
impacted your
issues,
family,
but the
and
judge
potentially
cuts to the
may
heart of it.
impact them even
The
more if you
drinking.
lose your license, right?
She's read the report.
Correct.
He says he was
I'm
intoxicated
letting
that night,
down
but still drinks
my
today.
family
Her frustration is
entirely,
clear. You claim alcohol
financially,
ruined your life, but
physically,
you're still drinking.
emotionally.
He admits he just realized he has a
And
problem
there, you
after
know, as a
watching a
good
documentary 2 days
person,
ago.
but this is holding me back from
The timing feels
continuing
too
to be that
convenient.
person just a bit.
You be honest, does this sound like real change or courtroom strategy?
Let's talk board. Even if you get probation, it's very possible you may have to go in front of the nursing board and answer them once all this is terminated, and then they would decide whether you would be able to maintain your license or not.
That is correct. I would have to ask the board, you know, what the next steps are, see what they give me, referendum, just to continue on and try to persevere through that.
Let's talk about what happened the night that this occurred. Well, let me ask you this. You understand that your actions have not just impacted you, but it's impacted your family as well?
It has impacted me and my family.
Can you describe this? Can you describe how you feel about the negative way this has impacted your family and potentially may impact them even more if you lose your license, right?
You're correct. I'm letting down my family entirely, financially, physically, emotionally. I am there, you know, as a good person, but this is holding me back from continuing to be that person just a bit.
And let's talk about what happened. So the night that this occurred, you had gotten into a dispute with the owner of the bar, is that correct?
That's correct.
And at some point you got in your car and you shot several rounds at the bar.
That's correct.
I mean, obviously you were intoxicated at the time that occurred.
I was.
Can you describe why you did that, or what was in your drunken mind at that point?
The altercation I had, I just recall being pushed down and hit in the face on my knees and asking for them not to do it anymore. Got in my truck, and then that's when I made the mistake of shooting to scare them.
And that was your purpose, was to scare them?
That was my purpose.
And did you shoot at any person?
No, I never intended to.
Martin shifts the conversation to his career. For 9 years, he's worked as a nurse, ICU, rapid response, critical care. The kind of person who's
continue to grow, you know, I feel like I need more volunteer work, help out in the community, you know, I don't work
for good.
His
voice cracks
as much
he
because
says,
I paid
I'm
off a
letting
lot
down
of my
my family,
bills, and,
financially,
you know,
emotionally.
but I feel that I can continue to grow and prosper and
consequences.
reflect on what I've
And
done
this is where empathy
and
meets
continue
accountability.
to make hurt anyone. But I didn't realize that I was hurting someone in a different way.
When you say hurting them in a different way, describe what way were you hurting them?
Came to my realization that, you know, I put fear into their lives and put their lives in fear. That is not okay, you know, but my mind wasn't thinking that way when I did that.
But now that you've had time to reflect on it, how do you feel about all that?
I feel remorse. I now see the empathy that, you know, I have. I literally anxious about it. I wish I can tell them I apologize, you know, but I'm not able to talk to them right now, and I understand that. I understand why.
If the judge gives you a chance to remain out of prison and puts you on probation, can you describe what even if she does send you to prison, let's talk about it. What kind of changes are you going to make in your life so that, and what kind of changes do you plan to make in your life after all this is out?
First and foremost, with the alcohol, is wanted to get rid of since it's causing my life to be unmanageable. To continue to grow, you know, I feel like I can do more volunteer work, help out in the community. You know, I don't work as much because I paid off a lot of my bills, and you know, but I feel that I can continue to grow and prosper and reflect on what I've done and continue to make better choices.
And what's the most important thing for you right now?
For me right now, this decision is to stay out of prison, hopefully continue with my nursing career, reach out and get a job, maintain my personal relationship with my family.
Finally, he
Be a good
describes the night
man.
it all went wrong.
I believe that it's a man
A bar
who loves
argument
his
turns
family.
violent.
I believe that
He
he's
gets
somebody
shoved,
who
humiliated, and
has
in a
been a
drunken
benefit
rage,
in
he
many
fires
ways
into
to
the
this
building to
community.
scare
He's
them.
worked tirelessly
Judge
as a
Boyd
nurse
listens silently.
throughout the
His
COVID
words hang
epidemic.
heavy.
He's done everything
I
he
never meant to
can
hurt
during that
anyone.
time. Obviously,
But
that
fear
was
is also
extremely
a wound,
stressful time for
and he
him,
knows that
especially
now.
working in the ICU at that
If a
time.
split-second decision that could have killed someone changed his
I think
life
that
forever.
exacerbated his
Have you ever seen
drinking.
anger lead to something you
Obviously,
can't
he made a
undo?
horrible.
And ultimately, hope for forgiveness for the rest of my life.
I'll pass witness at this time, Your Honor.
Any questions?
No.
So everybody tiptoed around everything. What exactly did you do?
We talked about it. Judge. I used to ask for shot.
Well, no. What you did was you got into an argument with somebody, and was this at a club?
Outside the bar is.
Yeah. So you're at a bar, not with your children, not with your significant other. You get in an argument, you leave, and you come back and you fire shots into that building with the two complainants and other people who were inside. You want to discuss that?
It was a stupid mistake.
No,
I
that wasn't a mistake. That was a choice.
It was a choice and a mistake. I agree. I honestly didn't understand. It's hard to say. I understood what I was doing, but I was not in my right mind.
Because it says here in the PSI report that you had more than one weapon in your vehicle, and there were several shots that actually hit the building. And there were multiple people in the building.
That's,
All right. Anything else from either side?
Argue me, Your Honor.
All right. Court will hear your argument.
Judge, I do believe that Martin Martinez Jr. to be a good man. I believe that he's a man who loves his family. I believe that he's somebody who has been a benefit in many ways to this community. He's worked tirelessly as a nurse throughout the COVID epidemic. He's done everything he can during that time. Obviously, that was an extremely stressful time for him, especially working in the ICU.
Martinez speaks about redemption.
Series of choices that
Says he wants
night,
treatment,
which has led him
to
here.
rebuild his life, to be a better man.
He's
It sounds
facing
sincere, but
losing
the
his
judge's
career that he
expression
spent
doesn't
years
soften.
working
She's heard
in
promises
and
before.
going to
This is the
school
courtroom
to
crossroads between
obtain.
mercy and consequence.
It's very possible that
Would
he
you
may
give him a
have to
second
change
chance?
career field at that time. I think that exacerbated his drinking. Obviously, he made a horrible series of choices that night, which has led him here. He's facing losing his career that he spent years working in and going to school to obtain. It's very possible that he may have to change career fields in order to support his family. Look, what happened was extremely serious, and we're not downplaying that in any way. I mean, it's extremely a serious event, although what I believe is most appropriate for Mr. Martinez is rehabilitation. I believe that he is a hardworking man who will. So that's right.
Thank you.
I believe he's a hardworking man who will do everything that he's required to do to get himself back in the good graces of society and the poor.
And the court see that there's no amount of restitution that's being requested from the complainants in the case. The court is going to find you guilty, sentence you to 2 years in prison, give you credit for any time served, taking consideration County Court Cause number 687552. And I would recommend for you the therapeutic community, show you what's entitled Trial Court Certification of Defendant's Rights to Appeal. Did you review that with your attorney? Did you understand it and did you sign it? All right, because this is a plea bargain agreement, because I followed your plea bargain agreement, and because you waived your right to appeal, you do not have the court's permission to appeal. We can go off the record. According to your plea bargain, I did take into consideration the fact of your occupation and what you've been doing. Okay? Thank you.
All right, y'all, that was a wild one. From a respected ICU nurse to a convicted felon in seconds. Do you think Judge Boyd made the right call, or should rehab have come before prison?
Judge Boyd breaks her
in order to
silence.
support his
She
family.
repeats the facts. You weren't with your family. You
Look,
left,
what
came
happened
back,
was
and
extremely
fired into a
serious.
building full of people.
And
When Martin
we're not
calls it a
downplaying that in
mistake,
any
she
way.
cuts
I
him
mean,
off.
it's extremely
No, that was a choice.
a serious
pierced through the
event,
courtroom.
although
Everyone knows
what I
this is the
believe
moment
is
of truth.
most appropriate for
The
Ms.
defense tries
Martinez
to
is
paint him as a hardworking
rehabilitation.
man who lost
I believe
control.
that he is
But
a
the judge has already
hardworking
made her decision.
man who
Drop your thoughts in the comments below. Stay clean with me, and I'll see y'all in the next one.
I believe
The
he's
verdict
a
falls 2
hardworking
years in
man
prison.
who will do
Judge Boyd
everything
takes
that he's
into account
required
his
to
career
do
and
to
character.
get
But the
himself
danger of his
back in the
actions
good
can't
graces
be
of
ignored.
society and the poor.
The gavel drops,
And the courts
and
see
just
that
like
there's
that,
no
a
amount of
respected
restitution
ICU
that's
nurse becomes a
being
convicted
requested
felon.
from the complainants in the case.
Rehabilitation might
The
come
court is
later,
going to find
but
you
first
guilty,
comes
sentence you to
accountability.
2 years in
And what do
prison,
you
give you
think?
credit for any
Was 2
time
years fair,
served,
or
taking
did he deserve
consideration
another
county court
chance?
cause number